तो बाबा नहीं लेगा No, leave it right there. Just be chill. We need to. stronger, matter of reminding. So we have, you can use these because the breeze blowing it. We can put flowers, or sorry, on note or anything. What he said? What he, yeah, Mukesh. Fallen now. Yeah, fallen, yeah. That's the breeze, but the breeze blowing it. I don't want it to fall on. Yeah, just on the live stream, yeah. Chip, right hand side hand, yeah. 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 And he pushing it.
कृष्ण जिनका नाम है जिनका धाम है ऐसे श्री भगवान को ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है बारंबार प्रणाम है कृष्ण जिनका नाम है गोकुल जिनका धाम है ऐसे श्री भगवान को ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है बारंबार प्रणाम ऐसे श्री गोपाल को ऐसे श्री गोपाल को बारंबार प्रणाम लूट लूट नदिवा कंठायो वाल वाल संग धेनु चरायो
ऐसे लीला धाम को ऐसे लीला धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है बारंबार प्रणाम है
कृष्ण जिनका नाम है गोकुल जिनका धाम है ऐसे श्री भगवान को ऐसे श्री भगवान को बारंबार प्रणाम है बारंबार प्रणाम है
Just get it fun, I'm so long because it's fun, bring up the other.
भगवत सुता को लाज बचायो रहस्य गज को
Yeah, this is about what it's not like.
ऐसे कृपा धाम को ऐसे कृपा धाम को बारंबार प्रणाम है बारंबार प्रणाम है
parte? No. ¿Desde qué parte fue que ya, dale. Yeah. Papa.
Right?
Light up, right?
Yeah. So this, you repeat and then. Suppose your hands. So move the foot forward to serve by this hand, the two to the right hand. Depends what you feel left, right? One and the two first, then the machine swallow again. ऐसे ही इसी सहितांश से ये वशक the pavitra. Mas.
Vrindavan, Sri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome each of you to this morning's Antyeshti Sanskar, or the final, as we refer to as the death ceremony of the late Yudesh Sooklal, also known as Andy. We begin with opening prayer. I am aware that we will have people of different religious persuasions here, but there is one God. We pray in different ways. So I would like you to concentrate upon that divine. Concentrate upon that divine as you know Him to be. And in your own way, pray as we seek the blessings of that most powerful. Concentrate upon Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hri Om Tat Sat. Om Yang Brahma Varunendra Ruddha Maruta Svanavante Divyaishtavaya Vedaiha Sangha Parkrama Upanishadaya Gayanti Yang Samaga Dhyana Vascha Tatvati Namansa Pashyanti Yang Yogino Yasyantana Vidhusura Surgana Devai Tasmai Namaha Om Tadeva Latnang Surinang Tadeva Taravalam Chandrabalam Tadeva Vidya Balam Deva Balam Tadeva Lakshmi Pate Tengri Yugang Smarami Om Tat Sat Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Holy Vrindavan, Sri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. Offering flowers, you kindly take your seats. Alright, now ladies and gentlemen, before I begin the actual ceremony, I would like to very briefly explain, especially for the benefit of Yudesh, what you're about to do. And also, benefit of all. Now, Hinduism is a very ritualistic religion. So a lot of rituals are done, and in most cases, they are not understood. And because of how it is, a lot of misconceptions, misunderstandings develop. And therefore it is necessary for us to understand why we do what we do. The scriptures tell us if you understand why you do what you do, results come quickly, instantaneously. If you do not understand what you do, just blindly follow, it takes a very long time to get any results. So based upon this, and considering all these circumstances, we need to understand what we are going to do. Now, our circumstance here is unique in that we can't open the casket. Most of you would be aware of the circumstances, and therefore an adaptation has to be made. Normally, when the body is here, we perform certain rituals on the body. But because it is inaccessible, we have to substitute. So for this particular case, I have this pinda. Most of us are aware that in funeral you put pinda all over. What is pinda? Now pinda actually means a microcosm. So that defines a macrocosm, man is microcosm. So under these circumstances, I'm going to use one pinda here that is representing the body of the late Yudesh. This is a pinda. Follow? So whatever rituals we are going to do will be done on it. I'm not using the picture is here for you to focus on. Because the picture you're not going to throw away, you're going to keep. The pinda, we will burn it. So this is to explain the rationale. The body will be cremated with the pinda, because we are cremating the body. Right, so this is why I'm not going to use the picture. Picture is just for focus. Alright. Now what are we going to do? In any ceremony, death ceremony, the rituals are carried out. We offer water on the body. We offer chandan, flowers, mala, perfume, arti. Basically this is what we do. Now many people again criticize us for worshipping what they call the dead. Say a dead body and we are worshipping. Now I'm the first to say we're not worshipping the dead. But then why are we doing these actions? So this is where again the understanding has to come in. Now in puja, we do the same actions. When we have the murti, we offer water, we put chandan, we put flowers, etc. And here we are doing the same thing, yet I am saying we are not doing puja. So now what we have to understand, that the actions done in a puja and the actions carried out here, though they be the same, but the intent is different. Now, the difference here also comes in mantras. In a puja, the mantras we say, with the offering, accompanying the offerings, are not the same as the offerings we make here. The mantras here, what we are going to do. So the mantras make a difference. Now many of you may not be aware of this. Sometimes the pandit comes, he says whatever, he goes away, you don't know. So I'm just trying to let you know what it is really about. This is a technical aspect of it that you can't maybe able to differentiate what the pandit is saying. But I'm saying that the mantras are different. So here, we are doing these rituals and why? Right. So now, most Hindus would have done puja. And when you did your puja, the final havan, when you do the final havan, the last little bit that is left, we normally wrap it up in a palm leaf and we do what is called Puran Ahuti. You stand up and you make the final offering, which you offer into the fire to complete puja. What we are doing here is something similar. We say we're going to cremate the body. Now to cremate the body, you can throw gas and whatever else and burn it, but we're not going to do that. The body would be prepared, in this case is already prepared. Under normal circumstances, ghee is put on the body, gugul, sugar, black till, rice, and these are all ingredients of havan. So in other words, what I'm putting to you, what we are going to do, the main purpose behind all this is the final lump of clay, as we say, to use it. It might sound harsh, but this is what it is. All of us, when we die, that final lump of clay is the final little bit that is left, which we have to offer into the flames. So when we go to the cremation site, it is not a case of just burning the body. It's a case of making a final offering in the light of Yudesh into the fire. Now, as such, because there is no offspring and so on, Sudesh, you have taken the responsibility. And I want to commend you for this. While I'm saying this, many people want to know why we have one person standing here only when normally you have 5. And I keep saying that you do not have to have 5. You have to have 1. You can have more than 5. But you see in Hinduism again, there is this obsession with numbers. So I've asked a question, if a man has 8 sons and he dies, are we going to say only 5 supposed to do the rites and knock out 3? Or let all 8 do it? Now, it's quite common sense to tell you all 8 should do it. You don't be obsessed with the number 5. But essentially, it is the main person who has to do it. So that you can have 1. This is not a shortcut, and it's not wrong. Many people say that because you are saying something you're not accustomed to. This is not the first time we are doing this. When Indira Gandhi died, go to India, she had 1 son, Rajiv. He did it. Then find 5 people, check and see what happens in India. When Rajiv died, he had 1 son, Rahul. He did it. In Trinidad, we have this custom of getting 5, and we have come across many situations where people have to go and beg this one, and beg that one, and beg that one to make up 5. Why? So what I'm saying, I'm putting these points forward to release stress from people. We are already under stress, somebody has died. You have to undergo all the stress again to find 5 people. And then, how many of them will maintain all the disciplines? We have had strange situations. You know, Yudesh, I had a funeral, the young man, he was prepared to do the rites. He couldn't get anybody else. Yeah? But he was a Christian, but he did the rites. But before he could finish to do Bhandara and so on, he converted. He went to another religion. So who did Bhandara on him? Now people will not be aware of these circumstances we have, to which we are exposed, which is why we need to make adjustments. So this is to take care of this in case there is any misconception. Main person, Yudesh, you are the main person. So I want to commend you as a younger brother, elder brother is like father. You are performing the final rites. Now we speak of Puja. What is Puja? Puja is made of 2 syllables, pa and ja. Pap, nashan, janma, viched. Any action that goes away sins and frees us from bondage is puja. So here again many Hindus think only when you sit at the baby that you're doing puja. And I'm saying no, your life is supposed to be a puja. Your life, how you live. So in this context, not only Hindus perform puja, Muslims, Christians, even the atheists. If you live the right life, perform the right actions, not I'm speaking of rituals now. From Hindu perspective, there's a ritual also. But generally in life is how you live. Now the point is, whether your life is a puja or not, we all end up like this one day. This is the end of everybody. And we are lucky. We'll be very lucky if we can find our bodies in time to come. Right now many bodies cannot be found. So in this case, regardless of circumstances, we are fortunate that we still have the remains of Yudesh here. Alright. So the thing is now, whether you perform puja or not, you all have to perform Purnahuti. Either you are buried or you are cremated. The same concept. It's an offering of this gift that we have, the human body, back to divinity. Okay? Now before doing so, we have to purify. When we do puja, we wash the flowers, we wash the rice, we wash everything. Some people want to wash the sugar too. Want to wash everything to make it so pure. Because you're going to offer it to God. That's okay, except to wash the sugar. But when you come for the remains here, what we are doing here now is purifying the body before we can offer it into the flames. So this is where the puja action is different from this, the intent. The body is made of 5 elements. Everybody, without exception. The world is created in this way. There is ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Panchatattva. Through what we call the quintuplication process. The entire creation has come about. So the body is made of these 5 elements. And notice 5 ingredients we are offering. Water, we put chandan, mala, flowers, perfume, and arti. And therefore it goes without saying, if you follow what I'm saying, the reason for these 5 offerings is to purify the elements within the body itself. So when I perform this purification process, to put it in simple terms, then I carry the body to the cremation site and I offer it into the fire. Purna Ahuti, to complete, in this case, Yudesh's life's puja. So in other words, you are doing a sacred act. If you notice, I give you aswan, I give you pengdi, chandan, because you are performing a sacred act. Okay? And again, I must say, you be commended highly for this. You have great merits acquired because of this. Now, when somebody dies, we can't perform the final rites ourselves. So this is why we have to have someone near and dear to do it first. Okay? Now, circumstances, if I may just put it to you. One of my goddaughters, the second person I initiated more than 50-something years ago, she died. But there was conflict within the family, which is nothing strange. Conflict within the family. He had a son and a daughter. The husband, both of them, you know. Sometime before, the father put out the son. I don't want it in my house. The daughter was married. She had a son who was said 19 years old. The mother died. The son, who normally accepts the responsibility to perform the rites, he said, I'm not coming back there. You put me out of the house already. You see, it's able to behave in foolish ways, no? He comes back to haunt us. The daughter said, my son not come in there. Because what happened, the mother had, Alzheimer's. And the father picked up another lady and brought her into the house while the mother's still there. You have to look at the circumstances. Now, they want to cremate according to Hindu rites. For the wife was a Hindu from ever since. So who is going to do the rite? They ask everybody, all around. Everybody they ask. Nobody say, no, we're not doing it. But they want to do the rites. And to perform the rites, you have to have somebody to do it. So then I asked the husband. Now this is tricky ground, eh? I said, you prepared to do it? He said, yes, Guruji. I said, come do it. Now the questions are going to arise. When the husband is alive, wife alive, she has to do the husband arti. When we do puja and so on. How come now this mad pandit making the husband do the wife arti? You understand? It is a legitimate question. But that's because they didn't understand the reason for the arti here. The arti here is just a case of purifying the fire tattva, fire element in the human body. If you understand the reason for doing it, so anybody could do it. Garu Puran, people quote Garu Puran. They say if there is no sun, right, you can't get anybody in the village. Even the wife can do it. But somebody has to do it. You follow? But there's a protocol we try to follow. But as I said, the reason for doing it is important. Now, I may just touch something here. I understand the two brothers-in-law wanted to do it also. They were asked to do it. Now that's very good of them. But you know what I'm saying, that the sister's husband, there's something again we do understand in Hinduism. That lineage is the lineage that you worship. The sister's husband. For those who are from Brahma remember, when is Tilak, the brother does the Tilak. He worships, for the wedding he worships his sister and his brother-in-law. So because of that we say, unless it's very, very extreme, we say no, it's not proper. You can order respect, put your flowers and so on, that's quite okay. So there's a rationale for whatever we do, and nothing is being done by guess. Now, I run the risk of, people coming to conclusions in various ways. So we will do this now, we behave in a certain way. If something were to happen, say within the family, next week, you bet what people are going to say. You know why? The pandit do shortcut. The pandit do something wrong. Now this is something I've been fighting for years. In ignorance, people say all kind of nonsense without understanding. Once I did a funeral, they did the funeral under the permanent shed for the father. 1 month afterward, the son died. He drank a lot of rum. He was very thirsty that day. And zigzagging, crashed and he died. They say, you know why he died? Because they didn't break down the shed. So when they do the ceremony, must break down the shed. That caused the young boy to die. Now, is that right? I just want to make this point quite clear. Everything is governed by karma. A person's actions. And you must never ever forget this. In today's society, we always blame. From top coming right down to bottom, we blame. It's them, it's he, it's she. Everybody has to take responsibility for yourself. Your karmas. Karma is the root cause of everything. Newton's third law. Every action has equal opposite reaction. Nobody gets away. And while I'm at it, people say, go to Puran, there's a fellow called Chitragupta. He writes down everything everybody does for the 24 hours of the day, for their entire lives. I ask myself a question, how could one man write down what everybody has done for the 24 hours every day? And more than 10 billion people in the world, that fellow highly overworked. Huh? Then you could fool him then. Because somebody might miss something. Now this is where you see people taking literally, many pundits take it literally, and they try to live in a comfort zone, but in ignorance. Now Chitragupta, what is the meaning of Chitragupta? Chitra means picture, and Gupta means secret. So Chitragupta means the secret picture. So Chitragupta is the secret picture in everybody's life, without exception. Everybody has a secret picture in their life. Something you don't want anybody else to know. Something that nobody else might know. But who knows it? When I ask the question, who knows of the secret picture of your life? Quick people say God. Then quick guys say, God, I have no time for your stupidness. You think God has time for that? Now this might sound strange, but everybody says God is God is God. God, perhaps he gets the most blame. Then who's to blame? The individual. So what is Chitragupta? Chitragupta is your recording ability of your own mind. Everything that you do, everything that you experience, everything, you know it. It's recorded inside of you. So when the final moments come, you are confronted by yourself. You're not some other entity, no? You're confronted by yourself. This is why you cannot say you lie, because you're talking to yourself. Perhaps you have heard this statement, you can run but you can't hide. Many people do like political statement way back in the past. One of the late politicians made that statement. That's not politics, that's life. You can run wherever, but you can't hide. Your karmas are going to follow you wherever you go. Wherever you go. And I've used the analogy of cows. If you have many cows and the young heifers, calves, you want to milk the cow, you let them go. You'll find they go and they smell looking for their mother. If they go to the wrong mother, they get a few kicks and say, go find your mother. Now if you mind cows, you would know this. We are like the mother cow. And the reactions of our actions are like the bachara, the young ones. You could do something here and go and hide in a Himalayan cave. The bachara is searching for you. And he's going to find you. Koi la kare chaturai, karma ka lekh mite na re bhai. Many people think they're smart. All kind of smartness they practice, scheme, games they play. But you see karma, you can't rub it off. And something all of us have to understand. And notice, my experience is that when people reach a certain position, they expect, respect and so on and so forth. Karmas come like skeletons out of the cupboard to sink you. At one time, you really don't want it to happen. But believe something, it happens to everybody. Whether guru, chela, king, pauper, nobody is free from karma. So in this context here, Christiana, all this is karma. All of us are caught up in karma. Karma is a very technical web. Our karmas are intertwined. You follow? As Yudesh Guru, I have to come here and do this. You are his consort, his parents are here. All his friends, we're all intertwined. Karma causes all this. And if you want to ask question, oh God, why? God won't answer your question. You have to know that you cause it, we all cause it in some way or the other. Our karmas. The seeds we have planted in the past come to fruition. This is what makes you all go wrong. And when I say that God has nothing to do, people think we shortchanging God, No. I've looked at like a computer. A computer is built. There are all the components. What input you make determines the output. The maker doesn't come and interfere with everything all the time. This world has certain cosmological laws that are unchangeable. Law of reincarnation, cause and effect, transmigration. All these are laws that exist, like a computer already established. And if you set energy is what makes everything happen. We put the input. Whatever we do, that is the input we put. And what comes out is the output, based upon what we put in. God doesn't interfere in that. So let me make a point quite clear. There is one condition under which the Lord takes charge. One condition. From a Hindu perspective, we say unconditional surrender. Unconditional surrender. What this means? You have to follow all the instructions of the scriptures. You have to avoid the prohibitions. Like 2. Believe in God and believe in none else but God. In today's society, we have that phenomenon. People praying every day, every Friday, working hard and so on. Every Monday, checking out the Uber man. You believe in God? If you believe in God, faith is here. You have to hold to that faith. And this Christianity must be borne in mind. Faith is important in times like these. Endurance, courage, determination. You need to have these things. There are no shortcut in this. And many people take to this pathway, causing damage to themselves and to their families. So that is 2. Believe in God and none else but God. Humility and surrender. Self-surrender. From a Hindu perspective, these are the conditions in the practice. You surrender. You say like the Basudi of Lord Krishna, totally empty inside. He is the prayer. You become an instrument. Anytime you can do that, you burn away all your karmas. You're free. And whatever you do is not you doing it. There's a divine acting through you. What about the other religions? When Islam says there is no God but Allah, I agree 100%. Well, who is Allah? Is Allah the Muslim God? Or is Allah the Muslim name for God? Follow what I'm saying. You can't have Muslim God and a Hindu God and a Christian God. Allah is a Muslim name for God. And yes, there is no God but Allah. Whether you call him Allah, whether you call him Ram, Parameshwar, whatever you call him. Different religions have the different names, but there is only one God. And if you understand that there is no God but this God, then why are you worshipping anything otherwise? So the attitude must be different. So even Islam is telling you that. When the Christians say, accept Christ, you shall be saved. What do you mean? You just get baptized and say, I'm a Christian? Or you live the life as Christ? And the life that Christ lived, similar to what the yogis live. All righteous people who surrender, they live that kind of life. All the religions say the same thing. Yet because of various factors, people do it differently. So I am saying that's the only condition. It's a hard thing to do, to surrender totally. Because when a situation arises, we must say, oh God, why? Or why me? We question. A person who has unconditionally surrendered, there is no question. So remember this, that's what we conceive ourselves. And Christiana, I just want to put one or two little things to you. Right? Now, Garu Puran, many people follow Garu Puran. You know what they say? When a husband dies, if the wife is alive, she needs to burn herself with her husband. You're going to do that? I want to advise you to do that. Yeah? Now, in India, they did it. Right? And this is where you see again misunderstanding, misrepresentation by many of the pundits and people who read Garu Puran. What they mean by burning yourself. To go and sit on the funeral pyre, that's suicide. It's against the law. It's the gravest crime you can commit. But then what does Garu Puran say? Burn yourself. What does burning yourself mean? If a wife wants to attain liberation in this lifetime, if the husband dies, burning yourself means transforming from materialism to spirituality. You burn yourself in fires of self-discipline. Maintain the principles to the fullest, and that will bring about your liberation. Not go and sitting in the fire and burning yourself. You follow me? So the choice is yours to continue this way to free yourself from bondage by burning yourself, meaning transforming the intellect from materialism to spirituality. All these things have meaning. It's just that I don't know why people can't understand this and employ it. Everything in Garu Puran has a deeper meaning. But people take these things literally. So I just thought I'll mention that to you. You have your life to live. The choice is yours. You can free yourself, or you can put yourself in bondage. But no, you can't burn yourself. You're not going to burn yourself physically. That doesn't make any sense. In India they did it, because of various sociological reasons, sometimes political reasons. India has been invaded so many times by outsiders, and many times when the husband died, the women choose to burn themselves rather than submit themselves to somebody else. That is not religion. They chose to do that. Right? So we can go on and on, but I use this opportunity to try to get a few things clear. Many, many things we have to get clear. But I can't say everything in one morning because we have other things to do. But I want you to understand what we are doing here. Alright, Suresh, you okay with that? Alright, and what I'll say again, when somebody dies, every person you meet will tell you something different. You should do that, you must do that, you must do that. Careful what you're doing. And whatever you have to do, ask me now. I'll tell you. Okay? Now, normally, if you know what plenty people do, when you see anybody and come back, they get some powder or something like that, some ashes and things, and they put it in a corner of the house, especially where the man used to stay, or whoever. And they cover it. Many of the older people would know that. Next morning, they get up and watching to see what prints they have inside that powder. So you see, the fella born back. Imagine a cockroach walking up in night. You born back at a cockroach? Huh? All this stupidity, but these things were done to occupy people's minds. They are not part of religion. This is why we need to understand the essence of what we are doing. Okay? So, let's leave it at that. So, Sudesh, you are performing good karmas. And Yudesh, even though he met this destiny of because of karma, we don't know what, we can't be judgmental, but it has to be karma. You are also creating good karmas by performing the final rites. And he has to have good karmas to be able to have this, send off with integrity. Follow? All this can tell you the kind of karma a person has. So, Yudesh, you will hear more about him later on. What a good person, we know that. Right? Nobody perfect though. Right? We all have our faults. But he has lived his life and we have to do whatever to send him off in the right way. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, just a few words, but quite a few words, to just clarify certain things because of our circumstances. Now, I'll proceed to perform the rituals, which won't take very long, and then we'll move on. We can have bhajans. Anybody want to sing bhajan, or you want to play some bhajans? When we finish the eulogy, will come in. Yeah, so we'll have some light music in the meantime while we perform the rituals. Over this here.
umubuto sa sigma ng kasi magkasali siya na ibang mayroon ng dito uputos ko. Nobody will know detail unless you go first. This is something we do. And you always give way. As Mother, Father, give them blessings that will continue this journey. In this life, this chapter is finished. So you will best give him some blessings. Let me go ahead. Right? All right. Yes, Mother. Mother. Hey, Mother. Om Yam Gari Mahagori Andina Tamasavrita Tatalukanathaya Dipu Yam Upadishtatam. Om Tatsat.
Holy Vrindavan, Sri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen other members of the family perform Aarti, And that is just purely psychological, to give them a sense of closure, that this is the last time they have this opportunity, to show this respect and honor. Right? So it is not exactly the same thing as what Yudesh did. So this is a different aspect of it, psychologically. We try to deal with that also. So it's a case of closure. This is it. Okay? Now to proceed further, I want to invite Mrs. Sujit, who will do the eulogy for us.
Good morning, everybody. Yudesh was a son, a brother, a friend, a colleague, an uncle, a husband. And whether at work or play or just relaxing, impacted positively on the lives of all with whom he came into contact. All. He was indeed a gift from God. This title he would have earned repeatedly throughout his life, just by his actions. By his actions of always, always, always ensuring that everybody around him was properly taken care of. I have the honor, I've been chosen among many persons who could have come to do this. So I have the honor to reminisce with you, to relive some of the memories of his life, and of course, to echo the sentiments of many persons who have contributed to this tribute. I thank you all for your contribution. Though recorded as September 15th, Yudesh was born July 28, 1975. The parents, Auntie Tara, mums, and Uncle Ram. And he was the brother to three siblings. His older sister Cindy, Lisa, and Stefan. And then further went to become the uncle of Yasha. All of whom he loved dearly. He attended the KPA and Chanago primary schools and went on to attend Cuba Secondary and Trinsville College thereafter. It was in primary school that he really discovered his first love. And all of us are here because we knew him. His first love was cricket. And it is in primary school that he discovered that love. And as Ralston put it, he grew to become a dynamic and explosive opening batsman, particularly strong on the cut and hook shots, with a style of batsmanship that was indeed pleasurable to the eyes, especially the eyes of his parents, who traveled the length and breadth of the country to support him. And when he was on song, OMG, you couldn't help but smile in utter admiration of this little Tendulkar lookalike. Unless, of course, you were on the receiving end. That would have been a little bit of stress. Yudesh was an active member of many school and national level cricket teams all through the years, and those would have included Cuba Sec, Monroe Sports Club, Central Sports, Agostini, Melbourne. But I think the crowning achievement that he was very, very proud of, and as well as us, we all were extremely proud, when he got selected to the Trinidad Under-19 team and went on to represent Trinidad Under-19 at a tournament where against the top-rated Guyanese team, who probably boasted the most fearsome bowler attack at that time, featuring a young Ryan King. He scored a 70-odd runs, which was a real big achievement. As Vinda reminded me, every week, Yudesh cut his backyard lawn. Well, Uncle Ram had him cut it, but he did cut it because he was preparing it every single week for cricket, for us to play cricket. We grew up in Uncle Ram's backyard playing cricket. And with the guidance of Uncle Ram, Uncle Beck, who we will hear a little bit later from, and Steve, Lakshman Lalcha, Lima Sports Club was founded. We were still a very close-knit bunch. This was largely due to Yudesh, always ensuring that we did things as a group. So much so that on Fridays, after we play cricket, we had a sweat. Yudesh would ask his dad for his Jeep borrow, or if not, then I'll probably ask his dad for his car borrow. And it was a preparation at that point in time for us to go to Anchorage or Pier 1 every Friday night. It was so common for us to make those lines. And if it is that we couldn't go for whatever reason, then it was a simple decision for Yudesh. That Friday not going to waste. We're coming home by him and we're playing cards downstairs. If we couldn't afford to buy drinks, he always say, and we always say, why you want, boy? Have, what you want? Just see that. So Uncle Ram always had a properly stocked a drinks center, and my mom's always ensured that we were well fed. Always, we never went, at any point in time, we never went hungry. Whether we like when we play cricket, whatever, she always ensured that we were well fed, and still does. Up to recently, I called her and she made a roti for me. That group, Anderson, Linda, myself, Richard, Bob, Ivan, Fat Boy, Rakesh. It was cards, and we enjoyed it all the time. Yudesh was the life of the party. Whatever we did, he was the life of the party. But the next morning, most Saturdays, we have cricket. And the next morning, Yudesh stood up to this field of play. And he will bat, bowl, field, run. Like, he was so full of energy. Like, he got a full night's rest. The rest of us were, well, mash up, crash. But he was his pack. And of course, after the game, we would celebrate whether we won or we lost. Didn't really make too much of a difference. And then on a Saturday evening, it was coconuts. Sunday morning, well, as you will guess, cricket again. Then Yudesh would ensure that he cut our hair. He was our barber. And he did a good job at that. Myself, Anderson, Vinda, I think Fat Boy would have gotten haircuts from him also. Ivan, I think you too. So it was really, and he would have to pay for his own haircut. Because none of us could have cut hair. Not that he would have taken the chance to let us hold that machine in his head. Sydney got married, and we had a wedding for a month before and a month after. And Naren, our dear brother, who is now deceased also, Prima, and Nisha also became our family. And then, of course, Yasha, right, who Yudesh dearly, dearly loved, and we will hear from Yasha in a bit also. He loved her as his own daughter. We had a blast with Naren and Prima. And then the maturity started to kick in because he started to work at PCS, now Nutrien, as an ENI trainee. And enter Polo, Colin, Jason, Shiva, and Sandal, who is also now deceased. Jai and Sagi, amongst many, many others. Jai living right across the road there. Suffice it to say, his friends became ours. They became our friends, our family also. And we did line together, we played cricket together, and we were very regularly at the PCS Sports Club. His career at Nutrien spanned 25 years, and he worked his way from trainee to his last post, senior planner. His colleagues respected him and loved him. And as Mr. Ian Walcott, Managing Director at Nutrien, indicated, and I quote, "Many of us will also remember Yudesh for his significant contributions to our employees and so many other employee fun and wellness initiatives. Yudesh was a conscientious worker who alwaast offered himself up to help. He will be sorely missed by his co-workers. The company's flags will remain at half-mast until Yudesh's funeral." End quote. We acknowledge, appreciate, and thank the management and staff at Nutrien for this gesture. Proud moment for Yudesh, proud achievement. Colin informed me that Yudesh was the only person to score 2 centuries at the Nutrien employee cricket tournaments, and he was also past president of the employee club. With every phase of his life, he continued to do what he did best, which was continuing to build friendships. He continued to build networks and friends, and his friends ended up being our friends as well. He was a natural born and continuously improving leader. Blue said, "For us, the Chanagar posse, Yudesh was truly an example of a friend who became family. We shared many good times together. He had a magnetic personality, and it was an incredible gift he possessed. Yudesh was the type of person you would call to lift your spirits when you are down. He was a person who knew how to appreciate every moment of life, and he made sure that energy was felt by everyone around him. As I said, cricket was his first love, but as usual, young fellas, I have a clue about love. Because when he matured, then he found love. True love in Chrissy. We married in 2013, and together they transformed this house into a home. And then, of course, came the inevitable Crystal Garden Network. Amrit enlightened. The KG community's journey with Yudesh began around 2013. I use the word journey because if we had not met him, we would have been vastly different from who we are today. In a relatively short space of time, Yudesh was able to impact positively on each one of us and our families. How, you may ask? Yudesh was unlike anyone we had ever met. His sense of family, friendship, and generosity knew no bounds. He invested heavily in his friends, so much so that we felt like part of his immediate family. This feeling trickled down to our own children who were devastated at hearing news of his untimely passing. Papi Chulo was the name that we had for him on those nights. During COVID, when the dog was bubbling, Johnny was emptying, and Raymond or Marshall was singing. His love for good music, friends, and lime was mystifying. This is when he really came alive, and he did it like no other. His priorities were always in check. He would always ensure that his job, home, and family commitments were always taken care of up front. This was one of the lessons that he drove home to us continuously. Yudesh wasn't one-dimensional. Far from it. He was also a sportsman through and through. We may know about his beloved cricket, but he also was a keen supporter of many different sporting disciplines. There's one anecdote that Amrit had here. Whenever the boys were together talking sport, he would be quiet and listen. And then after everyone gave their opinion, if he didn't agree, he would say, negative. And then he proceeded to say why you were wrong in your opinion. Yudesh was also a very humble person, but was very particular in the way things should be done. There was a right way of doing things. These traits served him well over the years and contributed to his overall aura. Another lesson which was learned simply by observing him. This KG community has lost an integral member of our family. However, his memory will live on in the hearts and minds of each and everyone, including the kids. We will celebrate for him, for the indelible impact he has made on the KG and everyone else who was fortunate to meet him. To his parents, you should be extremely proud of the man he became. And to Chrissy, thank you for sharing him with us over the years. We are better people because of it. In true Papi Chulo fashion, the anniversary of his death will be celebrated. To anyone that suggests otherwise, I say negative. That time has passed. We all know Chrissy that he loves you, and he enjoyed doing things together with you. And I mean Colin here and the facials, and not Chrissy here, Yudesh here. He enjoyed taking drives, visiting family, talks, cooking lines. He did a lot of things with Chrissy. But that Maldives trip, this fella planned all the entire trip to the Maldives, but not only the Maldives. He incorporated a European tour into it, with their home base in Venice. Venice, probably the most romantic place in the world. He ensured that he spent time with Chrissy there. Such was his love for her. He was always proud of his marriage, and he was always proud of Chrissy, and he was never afraid to show his affection openly. Rawlson described him as effervescent and bubbly. Blue said, Yudesh crafted a memorable innings. I say on behalf of our Limas guys, Yudesh was our captain in life and will forever be held in that regard. Captain Emeritus. Yudesh, my brother, we will continue to love and honor your memory by our actions. And now when I say, by God's grace, I know, I have the knowledge that my skipper is there calling the shots because he's now part of God's graces to us. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita said, there has never been a time when we did not exist, nor will there ever be a time that we cease to exist. So he's not gone. Once he's here, he's never gone. On behalf of Sadhna, Arya, Aditi, Aruna, Anjani, my mom, all our Limas guys, Anderson, Linda, Bob, Ivan, Fat Boy, Rakesh, we express our deepest condolences, and we do hope that by God's graces, which includes Yudesh's graces, that we are all able, especially you, to continue. And as Panditji said, to stand for the right things and to do the right things, that we all can honor his memory by doing the things that he stood for. Thank you all very much. Stand. Right, so we just have a couple persons who would like to contribute very close to the family. One of those is Yasha. Yasha is Cindy's daughter and Yudesh's niece, and she would now I think that you have right. So emotions are really very high. And it is very difficult to actually know. But you'll have the strength, I'm sure. While we wait a few minutes. Yudesh, like we said, was a very there were particular songs that he loved. However, in the last little while, two of the more popular songs that he would have enjoyed was Ratan Lambia and Kali Salam. And we have Prakash Kamchania, who has very graciously offered to perform these songs for us. And we will have Mr. Prakash.
Sit down. तुमसे मिलके मैंने जाना इश्क क्या मोहब्बत क्या भूल बैठा सब कुछ मैं तो दिन रात क्या चाह तुम्हें काली सलाम दुआ मुलाकात में चेहरे की रंगत बदल रही मेरी सोबत में काली सलाम दुआ
गाली बनता जो सोना बनता वो गिल्लू क्या है जाने खुदा बदल रहा है हर एक मौसम बेचैन दिल के जाने खुदा जाने खुदा जाने खुदा तुमसे मिलके मैंने जाना मैंने क्या मोहब्बत क्या भूल बैठा सब कुछ मैं तो दिन क्या रात है क्या चाहत में काली सलाम दुआ मुलाकात में शहर की रंगत बदल रही है तेरी सामत में काली सलाम दुआ मुलाकात में शहर की रंगत बदल रही है तेरी सामत में तेरी मेरी गल्ला योगी मशहूर करना कभी तो मुझे नजर से दूर कित चलिए तू कित चलिए तू कित चलिए जानता है दिल ने तो जान दिए तू तेरे बिना मैं न रहूं मेरे बिना तू कित चलिए तू कित चलिए तू कित चलिए काटू कैसे राता ओ सावरे जिया नहीं जाता सुन बाबुले गिरा था लम्बिया रे कटे तेरे संगिया रे गिरा था लम्बिया रे कटे तेरे संगिया रे चम 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 बराते तारे कहते ने सजना तू ही चम मेरे इस दिल का मन ले सजना तेरे बिना मेरा हुए ना गुजारा छड़ के न जावे मैनू तू ही है सहारा गा तू कैसे गाता ओ सावरे जिया नहीं जाता सुन बाबुले गिरा था लम्बिया रे कटे तेरे संगिया रे गिरा था लम्बिया रे कटे तेरे संगिया रे चम 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 बराते तारे कहते ने सजना तू ही चल मेरे इस दिल का मन ले सजना तेरे बिना मेरा हुए ना गुजारा छड़ के न जावे मैनू तू ही है सहारा गा तू कैसे राता ओ सावरे जिया नहीं जाता सुन बाबुले गिरा था लम्बिया रे कटे तेरे संगिया रे गिरा था लम्बिया रे कटे तेरे संगिया रे May our dear brother rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Gosh. Too big. beautiful songs. You and my words have become famous. Don't take me out of your sight. Where are you going? Where the heart goes, it goes with you. I can't live without you, and you can't live without me. I can't survive without you. You're my support. Alright, so now Yasha, we'll have a few words from Yasha.
It's around about 4 years ago. The first speech I've ever said was here, but it was for Maxie and Uncle Ricky's wedding. But that was for a funeral. And I've known Mom Gandhi my entire life, and he's always been like my second dad after my dad died. And 5 years ago, he was always there for me, and even until a couple weeks ago, he was. So I shared many great memories with him, especially one time we went to this place and we went on this roller coaster. And I don't remember much of it because my eyes was closed, but I saw the photo, and from that all I remember was I looked like I was about to throw up, and he was smiling the entire time. And after we came up the roller coaster, he told Mom, she was asking if he had the whole ride. And that is one memory I will never forget. And throughout the couple of years right before I wrote SU, I was always with him. He was the one who motivated me the most, because he was like, so if you pass for so-and-so school, I'll do this for you, I'll buy this for you. And I used to always be talking about that with him. And he did fulfill his promise. And I was asking him, now when I get a cousin, I would always ask him, Mom, when Auntie Chrissy the same thing, when am I gonna get a new cousin? And stuff like that. But something I would always miss is whenever I was with Nani and Nana, he would always come there and he would always take me out or do something with me, and it was always fun memories and something that I would never forget. But I really do wish I would spend more time with him, but that's just how life is sometimes, and it's hard accepting that, but sometimes you have to accept that. Oh, and the lectures I used to get. Every time I did something wrong, Mom used to always be like, I'm going to tell your mom Gandhi. These lectures I used to get from him. And all of the lectures, they mean a lot to me, but back then,
Thank you so very much, Yasha. And I'm certain, absolutely certain, that Yudesh should be so proud of you. Before we go on to our last speaker, who has been a big part of Yudesh's life also, I would like to ask if there's anyone here who would like to say a few words on their memory of Yudesh. Anybody at all? If you all want to come up and just have a few words. Alright, so in the interest of time, I'd like to ask Uncle Beck, Uncle Chris Ramlat. Uncle Beck has been with us. I mean, we knew him from ladies, from young boys growing up, and he has always been one of our members. Very close to Yudesh, and very close to the family.
Sitaram, Assalamu alaikum, good morning to you all. I was just introduced. I am the uncle of Yudesh. Today we all gathered here, heartbroken and overwhelmed to say goodbye to Yudesh. While I know that the funeral is a sad occasion, I must encourage you to celebrate Yudesh's life rather than mourn it, because of the person he was, and you heard the kind of person he was. He lived a full and vibrant, and while it saddens us that he died way too young, I take comfort in knowing that he had a good knock at the crease. From birth, Yudesh and I shared such a close bond. I had no kids of my own at that time. So having to grow up in my life kind of prepared me for fatherhood with him. He grew up with me, and because we spent so much time together, I introduced him to lots of things that I also enjoy. About enjoying life, always smiling, being humble, having a good time, and indeed playing sports. Both his dad and I pushed him to excel in the cricket field. As you heard, he played for Trinidad under 19, which both his dad and I went to Grenada in that tour. And he also played with my team, Sim Central Sports, alongside myself and many other big names in Trinidad. He was a great representation, both junior and senior teams for Sim Central Sports. Yudesh reveled in celebrations that came in every triumph. As I looked on from a distance, I could see that cricket had taken up a great part of his heart, and I felt joy knowing that I had a major role to play in that being so. I remember so many times we spent together, both happy and sad memories, even a scary one where we almost lost our lives together. I can vividly remember picking him up, taking him to the Shagaramas to meet his dad, to launch a boat with friends. He couldn't have been more than 8 years old. He was so excited, but soon that excitement would turn into despair as another pirogue slammed into our boat, causing it to split in half and sunk. We all panicked, but thankfully no one was seriously injured or hurt. I will never forget how I felt at that moment. Staring death in the eyes, but it wasn't our time then. Yudesh and I went on to live many happy years, as I did. Today loss tugs at our heart. The thought of not being able to see, talk, spend time, or even a quick wave to him hurts me to the core. So many unspoken words, time wasted. I look back now with disappointment in us not spending more time together. This moment reminds us that life is too short. We must not take each other for granted. We should live each day as if it is our last. Let the words we say to someone be that of love and admiration, not curses and grudges. My heart ached for this young man, my beloved nephew, who lived, loved, and laughed. His tremendous love for music, sports, and most importantly, his family must live on. How can it? It is with every moment of him smiling, singing, dancing, sharing a good time, having a drink with friends, and making jokes. It is the moment of hearing his voice, his laughter, that we allow him to live on in our hearts. To his wife, Chrissy, my sister, my brother-in-law, and the entire family circle, my family and I share your sorrow, and we extend our deepest condolences to each of you. There are no words that I can say to you now that will enlighten your burden. Please know that God is our refuge, and we all can find solace in prayer. My dear nephew, I cannot turn back the hands of time, but if I could, I would just let you know that even though I looked on from a distance, I never stopped loving you. I love the person that you were, and I'm so proud of you, my child. I take comfort in knowing to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. I bid you farewell. This life you have lived, so beautiful, now cease. I pray that your soul lives on in eternal bliss. Until we meet again. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Uncle Ben. Just for 2 minutes before we close and hand over to Banaji, we have one of the managers at Matron who would like to say just a couple words.
Hi, good morning everybody. My name is Ian Walcott and I'm the Managing Director of Nutrient. And I had the distinct honor of working with Yudesh. So I worked with Yudesh for nearly 17 years. I was working somewhere else at the time that he joined. And everything that I can tell you about him is that, I observed Yudesh from the time that I came back to Nutrient, but at that time it was PCS. And he always had a sort of a quiet, reserved calmness about him. But there was one thing that was always present about him. He was always busy serving others. I actually never saw Yudesh serving himself. He was a part of our employees club. He was a very active part of many of our technical groups. He was a very, very valued contributor to many, many, many significant projects. But the common theme about Yudesh was serving others. And I heard so many other people this morning share about how he had impacted other people's lives. So this morning I'm really honored to have the opportunity to share a few words. We're really, really grateful for the time that Yudesh would have worked with us. I know that he impacted many of his colleagues in a very significant way, and I can tell that he impacted many people in his community and in his family in the same way. So we bid our colleague a fond farewell, and again, he'll always be in our hearts and prayers. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Walcott. Yudesh lived a life, it was full, but you lived it by one motto: whatever you do, do it good. Whatever you do, do it good. And we need if it's just one thing that we could probably practice from one line of one page in his book, would be that whatever we do it good. We do it to the best of our ability. So I also bid you, my brother, fond farewell, and I know that you will be in my prayers, and you will also be part of the answers to my prayers now. Mataji.
Gole Vrindavan, Sri Krishna Chandra ki Jai. Devotees, we are fast approaching the end of our ceremony. Let me say blessings to all those who made presentations. Just let me add a little something. As a priest, as a guru. Now, we heard wonderful things about Yudesh and all his friends and, the Limers Club, cricket. All those things are wonderful. Now, it just sent my mind a little bit. Now look, no matter what it is, this is the end. So, we look at the world itself. Now, this might be very difficult to assimilate, but when we look at the world itself, Yudesh is going, I should say he has gone. But even the body, he can't carry with him. The body will be cremated. So at some point in time, all these so-called achievements and so on, house, land, whatever, all these things are left behind. What do I carry with me? What do I carry with me? Now I want to impart this point upon all. Now, Sujit, I played a lot of cricket also. In sixth form, my chemistry teacher called me and said, Prasad, you think you could make West Indies team? Because of what he gave me a reason. He said, but do your chemistry. I'm very thankful to him. I could have been there, but not here for sure. But you see, all that we understand, what happens here. Rat would know that. How many cricket we played in the past. And I have observed, my observation, I hope not to rock any boat and so on, but even from way back, I have observed anytime a match is finished, a lot of our people, where they take to? The bar. And this is why I question over the years, why some of our people couldn't make it at a higher level. I had cause to speak to some of the previous one or two of our West Indies players before, but the same thing. Nobody says you don't enjoy. But you see, some of these things fickle and fade, and there must be a balance. So man can be compared to a square, man's life, a square. The properties of a square, 4 equal sides, 4 equal angles, 4 lines of symmetry, or 2 lines of symmetry. Yeah. What it means, the 4 angles, social, spiritual, mental, and physical. Social, mental, physical, spiritual. We emphasize the spiritual. All of us, we have these 4 spheres of life. Now, life must have a balance. For a square to be a square, all the angles must be 90 degrees. So a lot of the younger people growing up, what you'll find happening, the focus is more on the physical, the social, the mental, but very, very few focus on the spiritual. Life is nothing but an empty dream, unless one realizes the Supreme, in whatever form you know the Supreme to be. Nobody says you don't enjoy, but the quality of life becomes totally different when there's spirituality. Otherwise, there's emptiness. So we enjoy our cricket, we enjoy the life, everything else. By the way, I play so much cricket, but I never drink alcohol. Right? When I'm drinking, from way back in the past, a pen cool for me. Since so we play cricket. And then I drink a soft drink, then I start drinking water. But nothing otherwise. I wouldn't be in our company. And I can tell you, many of my friends who grew up in this way, all of them gone away. Life destroyed. Absence of spirituality, which lends a balance in life. So I want to suggest, let me tell you something, you will excel even greater when there is spirituality. And we must impart this upon the minds of our children. You know what is lacking in Trinidad right now? You may say whatever. the base missing commodity is spirituality. Man has degenerated. There's an absence of spirituality. Now, spirituality doesn't mean religiousness. I can be a religious fanatic. I can go to the temple, clap, sing, get a leap of faith. Then, from the time I leave the temple, even right there, start to tell lies, start to deceive each other. Spirituality, religiousness you leave behind. Spirituality you carry with you. There was some degree of spirituality in the life of Yudesh. When, I think Mr. Walcott, his name is, when he mentioned that so much things he did for others. Paropakar, great act. Great act. No selfishness, selflessness, that is spirituality. Honesty, dutifulness, straightforwardness. Spirituality cuts across all boundaries. Religion is personal. You pray to God how you want to pray to God, that's your choice. But spirituality is necessary. And we have a lot of people, very honest, we have plenty of religiousness in Trinidad. Not many spiritual people, sorry to say. And I am saying that spirituality is the key. Right? What would cause a big man to stab a wife, well I think it's a wife, 30 years old, a young boy 12 years old, kill him? What is that? Absence of spirituality, no values. And we won't go to where all this thing started. My firm conviction, it has to start in the home. Many of you may not know, I taught at Mobile Laventry for 25 years. When people think everything was good, we had to take children to hospital every single day. It was like a battlefield just over the hill. Right? We analyzed and assessed. Many times we said it, what was the problem? Not the children, the home they came from, the community. And sorry to say, to my mind, the politicians that exist at that point in time, even up to now, prefer to leave these people in that condition so they can control them. Rather than do something to lift depressed areas and give them a sense of value. I have many students up to now, they still come to me, because I will try to make them feel that you are somebody, you have value, you have worth. You know, diamonds come from coal. You have to look at that, you see. So spirituality is a key. And I'm saying hand in hand with everything else, we must try to develop spirituality. So while we are young, life is like a square, all in balance. Don't forego one for the other. But as we get older, my kind of Asian thing, now that square becomes a rhombus. You see, twisted, but two angles become bigger, and two angles shorten. Physically, you can't do everything again. Yeah? Socially, who cares? But spirituality should be built. Right? And never stop using the brain. You use it or you lose it. So this is important to my mind. I always try to use this opportunity to impart this, because I'm very depressed. As a pundit, you know, for more 50-something years in the field, I'm now 72 years old, though I might look like 90. But what I'm saying is that searching everywhere you realize the absence of spirituality. And even from the primary school you can see it. And this has to begin in the home. So to all of us, pay attention to this. And one of the previous speakers, the uncle made a very valid point. Time. Bara nahi insan, bara nahi bhagwan. Asman dharti se kehta, samay barabarvan. It's not God powerful. Not man in this world of duality, but time. Time. Time exposes. Isn't that so? In time you plant the seed, you get fruits. Nobody gets away. Time is supreme devourer. From a Hindu concept, you know, symbolically, Kali Mata represents the power of time. Kal means time, E means power. Many people think Kali is Obia and what. They are afraid of Kali. You know why? Inherent in us, the fear, time devours everything. So life is too short for nonsense, wasting time. Enjoy whatever you do, but let there be an element of spirituality that controls everything. And devotees, ladies and gentlemen, you know, I always say if you have baggage, why carry baggage? Someone near and dear to you, there's a friction, apologize. Love is what should conquer the world. Love is the most powerful force. Love, right? Not hate, not these other negative emotions. So this is love. Why you all over here this morning. So we are saying that in time to come, ek din hame bhi jana hai. We all will have to go one day to come. If I were to ask you, are you ready? Are you ready? Many people say, yes, I'm ready to go now, Baba. Go and stand in front of the moving truck and see a ball. You're scared. Nobody wants to die. So I am saying that the rest of time that we have, the quality of life must be different. Quality of life. There's a beautiful song by Mukesh which I wouldn't sing. After I hear Prakash Ramchan sing, I'm frightened to sing. Right? It says, एक पल है हंसना, एक पल है मिलना. एक पल है हंसना, एक पल है रोना. कैसा है जीवन का खेला. एक पल है मिलना, एक पल बिछड़ना. दुनिया है दो दिन का मेला. The song by the late Mukesh Chandra Mathur. We old fellas like them kind of song. Right? Is it a love song? It's a philosophical song. One moment we laugh. I'm sure when Yudesh left to go, nobody would have thought that this is how he's going to come back. I laugh, one moment we laugh, next moment we cry. What kind of game life is? One moment we meet, next moment separate, never ever to meet again. What kind of life is like a marketplace? We're here only for a day or two. So then how should I live my life? Ye ghari na jaye beet. Don't let the moment be wasted. Make use of every single moment in the optimum use of it. So you will have the regrets. It's not easy to go to regrets, ladies and gentlemen, not easy. And I can talk, because as one who has some regrets in my mind. My mother in the hospital in India, on machines. I could have gone. Only when it pressurized me, go and see Mama in India. The day I cancelled all my pujas and yajnas, Mama died the same night. I never saw her alive. My father in hospital, I'm doing Bhagavad. Yeah? I said, I'm busy. Just to go get show you. I'm bamboo. I'm busy doing Bhagavad. They told my brothers to my father, say that man doing Bhagavad naman. No problem. Monday, Tuesday morning, after morning session. One of my bosses came in, I saw him, I know something God. Papa gone. Never spoke to my father 3-4 days before he left. Whose regret is that? One of my principals, very good fellow. The first day of school, meeting everybody. I don't want to meet him and I walk outside. I don't know what happened to me that day. And then later in the evening time, words, he burst a vein in his head, he died. Whose regret is that? I can tell you plenty of these things, you know. I have to regret it, live with that for the rest of my life. Can't get it out. This is why we say, what you have to do, jo kal karna, aaj kar le. What is to be done tomorrow, do it today. The good things, jo aaj karna so, ab kar le. What is to be done today, do it now. Time, tide, opportunity, wait on no man. We have no control over that. Okay? So ladies and gentlemen, for those of us who are left behind, these lessons I'm putting to you cut across all boundaries, for all of us. We are all subjected to the same pressures. We can make our life something of quality. And I advise that we teach the younger ones, encourage them, motivate them, so we can go this way. Okay? So having said that, commercial. PDR 644, PDK 4599. You asked to remove your vehicle, you're blocking somebody. I don't expect to see half of the congregation going, huh? So, ladies and gentlemen, what we will do now, a final prayer. We invoke the blessings of divinity. I want to invite you all to please stand, as you have been sitting for quite a long time. We join together in a very simple bhajan. Those of you who could join me, feel free to join me. If Prakash is here, it'd be nice if you could join me. He might sing it better than me. A simple bhajan that asks our Supreme Lord to remove the unhappiness of the devotees. Take that, you know, the departed soul, as it were, across the ocean of duality. We surrender to Him. So let's all join together. Jai Krishna Hare Sri Krishna Hare Dukhiyon ki dukh dur kare Jai 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 Krishna Hare Jai Krishna Hare Sri Krishna Hare Dukhiyon ki dukh dur kare Jai 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 Krishna जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा हो, आशा का दूर किनारा हो, और कोई न खेवन वाला हो, और कोई न खेवन वाला हो, फिर तू ही बेड़ा पार करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों के दुख दूर करे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे। पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों के दुख दूर करे। तेरे दर्शन को मैं तरस रहा, तेरा नाम की माला जपत रहा। तेरे दर्शन को, तेरे दर्शन को मैं तरस रहा, तेरा नाम की माला जपत रहा। भाव सागर से मोरी नैया, भाव सागर से मोरी नैया, क्षण में जाय किनारा हो, क्षण में जाय किनारा हो। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों के दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। ओम अनादि निधिनो देवा शंख चक्र गदाधर, अक्षय पुंडरीकाक्ष प्रेत मोक्ष प्रदो भव। ओम कृष्ण कृष्ण कृपालो त्वं गतिनं गतिर्भव, संसारार्णव मग्नानां प्रसीद पुरुषोत्तम। वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंस चाणूरमर्दनं, देवकी परमानंदम कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुं। ओम तत्सत्। आत्मा शांति, आत्मा शांति, आत्मा शांति। ओम त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम शांति शांति शांति, हरि ओम। Ladies and gentlemen, life is made of memories. You will never forget, but the journey is always forward. So to the parents, Chrissy, to the family, all of you, aage chale. You have to go forward. And as a previous speaker said, I agree 100%. Live the life he expected you to live. And that will satisfy wherever the soul may be. Live the life, maintain the principles. And to all of you, ladies and gentlemen, many thanks to you for having joined here this morning. The testimony to the kind of person that Yudesh was. And we apologize for keeping you so very long, but final few moments with Yudesh. I hope you don't mind. Blessings to all. And at this point in time, those of you who have not yet viewed the body, there is nothing to view. But you can come take flowers and offer it as a final offering. And within 10 minutes, we'd like to leave to go to the cremation site. Blessings to all. Many thanks to you. Bole Sri Swaha Mata ki jai. Satya Sanatan Dharma ki.
Everybody. We have very quickly approaching time that we have to leave, and of course we have to be at Waterloo for a certain period of time. So if there is anyone else who wants to come up and offer a flower or just offer a prayer, can do so now as we get ready to leave. As we prepare to leave, please keep the corridor clear so that it will not be any restriction for anybody.
Big size,